Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Kels and Betsy podcast, where we're focused on raising capital and investing with purpose. Whether you're a new investor or an experienced real estate investor or business owner, understanding the art of raising capital is crucial in today's landscape. Join us as we navigate the complex realm of attracting investors, securing funding, and building meaningful relationships that fuel your business growth. Hey everyone, it's a little bit of chaos in the back of our studio this morning. So I am here with you guys. We are very excited to get some stuff going. But first of all, I wanted to thank all of you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey, because as we are growing, we're also watching you guys grow and getting phone calls from you guys and talking to you guys and seeing helping you guys with your projects has been amazing. Just being part of your growth has been amazing. If you guys are interested in doing or collaborating with our real estate investments or doing stuff with us, contact us. Me on Instagram, Mia at underscore Betzy Rodas, and Kalisha at Kalisha Carter. I'm gonna just bring her on. Are you ready, Kalisha?
Listen, I swear it's always when you're in the middle of something, the chaos always decides to happen. In technology, it's insane. It is insane. Hi, guys. It's been a while. It's been a while. I love this. Who's here? Who's here? Kathleen. Oh, Kathleen is always showing up.
I know. Oh my gosh, I just realized we have comments. Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
she's like always like showing us so much love, so
Oh,
supportive. I can't wait to see you in Austin if you're going, girl. I know it's all the way in Texas.
thank you,
Um,
Luis, for the like. You guys are
so
awesome.
it's pretty good. Like you guys are always active, man. Hope you guys have been having a great, let's see, month of October. It's going to what? Oh, you can do that?
I don't know how that happened. What?
Wow.
Thank you
I
guys.
did not
That's
know.
so cool.
So for those, if when you guys are, for those who are listening, like this weird thing that happened on the screen, there's heart that shows up on the screen. We had no idea that that can be done.
Thank
Oh,
you,
that was
Luis. That was so cool.
that was pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Thank you. See, you learn something new every day.
I
Shout out to
know.
technology.
Thank you.
Um, Thank you guys for always supporting us, man, and always showing up. Today we have like a really cool guest talking about how he raised $300,000. I know, like you guys might think, "Oh my God, I can't do that. That's a lot of money." No, it's not. You'll be surprised you can do one raise
Hmm.
um, from
And it
one
was his
person,
first time too.
which right.
Yeah.
So I really want to like, I want to learn from myself. Yeah, I know we're here, guys, to actually like dig deep dive and everything into the deeds, but I also want to know for myself too, like how he did it, what challenges he had, like did he do anything special, like what his strategy was with getting that 300,000. But we're gonna dive super deep into this deal and a bunch of other things of how he is literally like raising capital and investing with purpose using his platform, and for his Spanish community as well, where I think a lot of persons underestimate their community of people and always want to tap into something else. Like literally, like you can provide so much value to your community, and you're sleeping on those. So he's gonna share with us as well how he's doing that. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest Julio to the stage.
Hey,
Hello.
everybody. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can.
Man, I love that. Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Listen, it was insane. I'm like, wait, what is happening on the screen? Like, I can't.
Right?
Man.
No, but that's awesome, guys. Thanks for having us. Well, having me on your platform, your podcast. Love the energy, love what you guys are doing. So I'm happy to help wherever I can as well.
No, I
Yeah,
love
I met Julio when he invited me on his podcast. He has one every Thursday morning. It's coffee time in Spanish for all you
Yeah.
guys that speak Spanish, and they talk all about real estate. So definitely go follow him to see some awesome content. I got to see like your walkthroughs through your properties,
Yeah.
and I mean it's super cool the stuff that you're putting out there for the Hispanic community. So thank you
and
for
good,
doing
good,
that.
good.
No, no. I mean, I think it's very important to not only let people know what's possible, right, but how to do it. That it is possible no matter where you're from, how much money you start
Yes.
with, or where you came from. Because we started with very little money, and not too long ago, right? So your life can change really quickly if you dedicate yourself, get obsessed with real estate, with building a legacy, with creating something not just for you but your family, your the future generations that you're going to be creating, right? So
Yeah. Man,
yeah.
I think you just said something, and I guess this is where we're gonna just go right into it. Like you mentioned that you started um, with a little bit of money. Firstly, like what were you doing before you discovered real estate? Like what was this little money that you talk about?
So we had a few car lots. So I got a very long story, right? So we might want to skip that part. But right before I started real estate, I had a car lot. It was doing okay, but it was money came in and money came out just as fast as it came in. So right before, like, it was my last year in the car world, right before I got into real estate in actually got in February of 2020, so right before the pandemic. And something happened at the car lot, and I was like, look, this is it, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna do something else, right? And I've always been into real estate, but I I uh I was like, I don't have any money, right? I think I had like $200 in my bank account or something like that. So I obviously YouTube, hey, how can I get into real estate without any money? And we all know what came up, right? Wholesaling. It was
Yeah.
wholesaling came up. So I started watching videos. At that point, Max Maxwell was just starting out. So he was making some amazing content, even though it wasn't good quality, but the information he was giving was amazing.
Mhm.
So he I got obsessed with him, with a bunch of Pace Morby, a bunch of other people, and when got obsessed, I watched this real estate content while I showered, while I worked out, while I slept, anything I was doing, real estate, real estate, real estate, right? Um, then I started doing a few wholesale deals. Got my first one within a week. Made 7K. Did everything wrong under the book, and still made 7K. So I was like, all right, this is it, right? So I sold my car lot for very little money. I lost a bunch of money, but I didn't care. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm not selling another car. I'm gonna start selling houses. And yeah, it rolled in. So we got one deal, then two, then four, then six, then 10. And yeah, now we're here just 3 years later. We started our LLC in July of 2020. So we're about 3 years and a half in. So yeah,
Okay.
it's
And all of this is in Georgia?
no, North Carolina,
Okay.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Yep.
Got it. Man,
Mhm.
I like that you mentioned like you only had $200 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because for some persons they may think, oh, he had more than 5,000, more than
Oh no.
10,000. And then the fact that you're like, I got obsessed, and a lot of persons like underestimate that. Like when you truly mean get obsessed, it's when you have that strong desire of getting something, like you put it in the extra work. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm overworking, because you have this desire. You're like, I want to learn. I need to figure this out. And it's that drive that you got that's where you are today now. So even like when after you wholesale, did you go straight into raising private capital? Did you do fix and flip? Like what was the transition from wholesaling to raising private money?
So I think it's definitely a natural course of real estate investing, right? A
Mhm.
lot of people start wholesaling, then they go to fix and flips, and they go to rentals, and then apartment complex and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it happens in different orders for different people. but I think overall it's pretty common for that to play out that way. Now, I would say what I did a little differently was take advantage of that community. Started teaching people how to do it, what we do, and not for money, not for. I don't make any money showing people what we do, but well, directly we don't make any money, but indirectly we do, right? So we still wholesale, we still flip, we still do rentals. We have, I think we're about to hit the 200 property mark, so 200 properties bought and sold. So we also got quite a few rentals, Airbnb, and flip. We got about 6 flips going on at the same right now. So thanks to all that private money that we were able to raise, we are actually have ownership on a hard money company now, and
Wow.
we've never used the hard money alone because of all the private money we have. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Man. So let's go right into it. Because with all this private money, is it that when you raise the private money, did you raise the funds for just one specific deal, or was it like multiple deals? Like, walk us through that process.
So it was I at some point I knew that I was going to need money, right? So at that point I just started talking to everybody and anybody that would listen to me, like, hey guys, I'm in real estate. If you ever want to buy a house, sell a house, or even put your money to work, I'm here for it, right? So I don't want to overcomplicate it, because at the end of the day it's not complicated at all, right? I promise you that everybody watching this podcast right now, we know somebody that has $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 that they want to invest, and they don't know how, right? The way I got started was like my whole I am legacy side of the business. That started because I met with somebody that saw me on Facebook, and he was like, hey, I got some money I want to invest, right? And I met up with him at the property. I was like, look, this is a property. We're we're gonna put a deed of trust, a promissory note. Your money's gonna be protected by this, right? I think he had 310,000. Um, and uh and the house was worth like 450. So he was, he was happy. His money was gonna be safe. And he was like, yeah, so how does this work, dude? I was like, all right, so we're gonna, do this, title search, whatever. And then you're gonna send the money to the attorney. And that's when he like paused. He's like, wait, send the money to your attorney. It's like, does he take cash? I was like, no, he does. He's not gonna take cash. Um, and and I was like, wait, you have $310,000 in cash? He's like, yeah, it's at home. I'm
Mhm.
like, dude, first of all, don't ever tell anybody that you have anything yet. And then I was like, and that's when I started realizing that there's a knowledge gap, right, between the Hispanic community, how to invest their money, what to do with it. At worst case scenario, have a savings account that's paying you 2.2%, 3% on that, right? But he had all this money at home. I was like, look, and the craziest part is that he got paid, like, and paid taxes on it. He would just every month when he got paid, he would go to the bank, pull the money out, and take it home, because he didn't trust
Whoa.
banks. So it's not like he was making it outside of like work or anything like
Yeah.
that. He made money like legally, and he paid taxes on it. So I'm like, dude, this is the craziest thing, because now when you put this money back into the bank, you're gonna have to explain how
Wow.
you got this money, right? So yeah, so it's crazy, but yeah, that's how it all started. But basically, just open your mouth, right? Like, talk to people, let them know what you do, let them know what you can offer, how your money's protected. Mostly, you gotta also be a little bit, educate yourself on how their money's protected, right? What is a promissory note? What is a deed of trust? And every state's a little different, right? Some, like, I think South Carolina uses mortgages. They don't use deed of trust. So
Mhm.
just educate yourself in your state how to do it, how their money's protected. Overall, that's all they want to know. The two most important questions: how am I protected, and how much money am I making? Right. So learn those two questions, and you're solid.
And guys, like, you don't have to, like, you can have an understanding of what each document like covers, but
Hmm.
that's where now you go to like a team of expertise,
Yep.
and you ask them like, I'm looking to do this, and then they can explain it to you. This is what you need to do. They can draft the paperwork. I know some of you, especially if you're a newbie, you're thinking, oh my gosh, now I don't know how to draft this paperwork. No, that's why you Oh, I'm so glad Betsy shared that disclaimer right now. That's why, like, you just pay an attorney to draft all these paperwork, like, just account for it. It's gonna save you a ton. And Julio said it too. Like, every state, it's gonna be different, so you can't even use the same paperwork. Now, Julio, you mentioned that the person found you on Facebook.
Yep.
Was it because were you guys friends before on Facebook? Or did he just find you because you were posting about what you're doing? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, just post. We always post about checks that we make, flips that we're doing, anything, right? Anything we do, that's what we do, right? Even when we were wholesaling, I would always introduce myself as a real estate investor, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we all do, right? We all invest in real estate in one way or another. So you're no longer, even if you have a part-time job or a full-time job and you do real estate part-time, you're no longer your profession, right? You're always a real estate investor. Because people want to do business with real estate investors. They don't want to do business with somebody that works at, as a cashier at anyway Walgreens or anything like that, right? So no matter if you've done a deal or not, you always introduce yourself as a real estate investor, and what you're looking to do. So at that time, we were only wholesaling, but we were looking to invest into real estate, whether that was rentals, Airbnbs, and we would always say that, like, hey guys, we're always looking for partners, investors, for anybody that wants to work with us. So after that conversation, and like when I say tell everybody that you're looking for private money or investors, I mean everybody. Yeah. So my attorney, right, the paralegal that I work with, I told him once, like, I was like, hey dude, like, we're always looking for private money. Also take care of those referrals, right? Like, anybody that refers to us a private money lender, we give them 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, depending on what that quantity is.
Yeah.
So this paralegal introduced me to one of our best private money lender. Now she's lent right now. We actively have over $1 million worth of private money with her. So just because I asked, right? Just because I asked, I didn't do anything else that anybody could, like, you guys could have asked, or any one of us could have asked.
Mhm.
So it's really that easy, really that easy.
Yeah. So I want to go back, and I want to ask you. You started by wholesaling, and then you started buying and acquiring properties. Was there like a mindset shift? What made you want to start acquiring properties for yourself?
Legacy, right? Because it's I've always had the like, I started with, like, I think my number was like $5,000. I'm like, all right, once I'm making $5,000 in rent, I'm good. I can retire, blah blah blah, right? But obviously, when you make $5,000 a month, you keep going up and up and up. But it all started with that. It's like, okay, wholesaling is great, but I mean, this money's only going to last you a certain amount of time, right? And you're going to be paid taxes on it, compared to a rental, which you have cash flow, you have appreciation, you have depreciation, and it helps you on taxes as well. So I always, and like I said, I YouTube, so I learned a lot. Like, we made millions of dollars before we even start paying for courses, masterminds, or anything like that. And it was all of YouTube, like, podcasts like y'all's, or and the stuff that we're teaching. It's like, it's so much free information out here, especially in English. There's so much free information that you shouldn't be out here paying for all these courses, mentorships, till you're ready, right? Till you make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Especially in today's economy, that you have so many opportunities on the MLS, on Facebook, other wholesalers too. Subject to, like, that's to me is the craziest thing.
And I think that the what you just mentioned too, that um, so much free info, especially in English, and you might be, which we're gonna keep going back a little bit, but the fact that you realize that, okay, there's a lot of information, but it's in English. There
Yep.
is nothing for Spanish. Okay, I'm educating myself. Now I'm gonna tap into my network and educate my community in Spanish. So you're literally now opening a whole different opportunity for people who, I'm in English and I can't even tap into that network, because they're
Exactly.
gonna relate to you way more than that. you know, and some persons always think that, oh no, I'm new, I can't bring value, I've done this before. But what you're learning, whatever stage you're at, there's someone that you can literally connect with. Julio, when you were doing all of this, like learning and all that stuff, raising the money, were there any like challenges or any obstacle, like any hiccups that you kept bumping into and you're like, man, there has to be a way to figure this out? What was that?
See, so I think this is a big difference between people that, you know, I'm this the biggest issue that I see with people is like they want to learn everything about that topic before they jump into it. You know, whether it's wholesaling, subject to fix and flip, they want to know every single thing. I think it's called analysis paralysis, right? So, and I know plenty of people that do this, and they're like, for example, my first subject to ever, right, was a regular contract, and I just wrote subject to on it and gave it to my attorney, right? I didn't that was it wasn't my job to know, right? I just wanted to buy this subject to the note,
Yeah.
and the attorney knew how to do it. Now obviously he gave me the right contract for next time, but that's all I did. I just wrote subject to the note, and that's it, I think. And he did it. It happened. I still own that property. I think my payment's like less than $400 a month after insurance and taxes. So so it's like it's don't overthink it. There's always professionals that are going to help you do this the right way. So whether it's $100,000, $150,000, whether it's subject to, I you're always going to run into, okay, so what's the right contract? How do I protect myself and the investor? How do I not get sued? Right. So
Mhm.
but I never like looked at those as challenges. It's like, all right, so this is another step to get to where I need to get to, right? And the more steps I get to, the higher I'm going to be.
Yeah.
So I basically just relied on all the experts to show me what to do, and they're making money off the closings that we have, and they're happy to help. We're happy to learn. Yeah, so I don't see a lot of challenges no matter what we do. I just opportunities. So
I love that.
yeah.
How do you think like raising like all the in raising private capital, how does that help you today?
Oh, big time, right? So we own right now somewhere around 30 something properties. And like I said, with zero money from hard money or traditional money, it's all private. This is our private money. And we are paying higher interest, but the numbers also make sense, right? So imagine whenever I am ready to do a big refinance,
Mhm.
um, even at today's high interest rates, they're still lower than my private money loans, right? So it just allows you to grow so much quicker.
Yeah.
And also like for a flip, right? Most people have to go and put 20% down and you know do a draw every time they need money for the repairs and deal with all. But if let's say the property itself costs 150,000
Mhm.
and the it needs 50,000 in repairs, well, I can borrow the full 200,000, right? I don't have to go borrow 150 minus 20%. Then I have to be drawing the repair money. I can borrow it all up front, get it done quicker. And yeah, that's the benefits of private money. They're a lot more flexible. I don't also don't have to go hit my credit every time I want to borrow money. So the benefits of private money are ridiculous. For example, we have a closing in 2 days, and I can borrow that money in 2 days. Where the hard money lender is 2 weeks, where a traditional lender is 30 days. So the benefits are huge, and I just think it's another. And I'm not talking down on traditional or hard money, because to grow in this business, you need all that, right? So you need as many tools in your tool belts as you can have. So,
So
but
with even like the fact that um you can in 2 days, if you need 200,000 in 2 days, you can go to someone and get that 200,000.
yep.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Is it that you've built these relationships before where you're at the point where you can get 200,000 off the bat? Or just walk us like, how are you finding those persons? How are they feeling comfortable with giving you large sums of money in a short period of time?
It's just that proven track record, right? So it didn't start that way. We started with lower loans, and obviously they had to make sure the numbers make sense. They had to run their own numbers and they had to do their comps and all that. But now they're like, all right, whatever you need, you just let me know. And you get to that point, right? Once you prove that, hey, I'm gonna pay your money back, you're gonna make a ton of money. I think we paid over $100,000 last year in private money. So in interest alone, right? But we also made a ton of money. Like you and there's times where like I can for a double closing, for example, right? We could use our own money to buy that and then sell it. But I would rather use our private money lenders because we pay them a little bit more money, but they also get paid more money. So they're looking for our next loans.
Yeah.
So it's just it's there's people that are so greedy that they don't want any single dollar. But for us, that relationship that we have with them is worth way more than a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we want them to make money as well.
I love that you mentioned the relationship, and that's something that we talk on this podcast a lot. We talk about
Yeah.
keeping a relationship with our private money lenders. How do you keep your relationship? Is it just like the double closing, or are you guys like sending them messages, emails? Do you guys have email campaigns? What does
Yeah.
that look
So
like for you guys?
so we update them whenever hey, we think this property is gonna be up for sale in 2 weeks. And once it's up for sale, like once it goes live on the market, we send them the Zillow link, let them look at it. We also just follow up with them and also whatever they need, because obviously our private money lenders, a lot of them are investors. So whether they need every once in a while they need drywall or a plumber and we help them out with all that. So they know we have the connections, and a lot of times we take care of all that for free, right? Because obviously they take care of us. But I think text messages are really good. They're a lot better than emails, in my opinion. It's more personal, and now we also check up on them, right? And he's like, hey, just making sure you're okay this week. If you need anything, please let us know. So just random messages like that. And then we also ask them if we do send like gift cards to dinner time to time, stuff like that. So
Nice. I like
yeah.
that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea because I send gift cards to like my cleaning crew and
Mhm.
like handyman, and I always send them gift cards. But that's a good idea for your lenders. So with the
Yeah.
text messages, are you using like a specific CRM or are you just manually texting them?
No, we're just manually texting them. Yeah. So I don't have a lot, but they're big, right? So it's right now we have about $3 million in private money that we rotate. And that's about 6 to 8 people, I think. So
That's amazing. Guys,
yeah.
guys, you see, like I like how he's just giving us all the numbers. So
Yeah.
you guys don't get overwhelmed. We're
Yeah.
saying $3 million. No, I need to find a bunch of people. No,
Yeah.
guys. And also, if you guys have questions, like feel free to drop them in the chat. Anything that you're not clear on, anything that you want to ask, don't think it's like too simple or too basic. Like ask that question.
Exactly.
But I also want to touch on the fact that when you said 6 million, well, 2 points. 3 mil from 6 persons. It also goes to show that you don't need a ton of people to have access
No.
to capital.
Mm-mm.
Like you really don't. And then you mentioned that you send text messages, no CRM. Some person get overwhelmed. Oh my God, now I need to go get a fancy CRM and all that stuff.
Oh no.
You guys be
No.
surprised.
Yeah.
The blue tick, that's something about that blue tick and the text message.
Yep. So it's people think it's complicated because of the amounts, right? If they think about 1 million, they think about 3 million, but for us it may be a lot of money. For them it's not, right? So just you got to get comfortable having those bigger conversations, those bigger numbers. I think the biggest loan we got was 450,000, and when I first started I couldn't imagine asking for 450,000, right? But it took me a few months, and I'm like, all right, it's not that much money. Like before it's like, all right, this is a lot of money, but now it's like, all right, like this is cool.
Yeah.
So just don't overcomplicate it, right? So just make those conversation, and also do things different, right? Don't While everybody else is going to the clubs, going to whatever they do nowadays, right? Go to meetup events, go to, and not just real estate events, because everybody else that goes to real estate events.
Yeah.
They go there because they're investors themselves, right? They're a lot of them are not going to want to lend you their money because they want to buy their own properties.
Exactly.
Go to like business events, your local um whatever government, I forgot what it's called, the just anything that's business related, but there are meetups, right? Those people love real estate investors because they can invest the large capitals that they have, right? So just go to things
Benefits.
that don't. What happened?
They get the tax benefits.
Mhm.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like go to different events, not just real estate event. Definitely go to real estate event, but go to a lot more than just that, right? Whether it's, business, whether it's um, your local
Chamber.
whatever. Yeah, Chamber of Commerce. That's a really good one.
That's a
So
good one.
just go to meetup .com and or the app and join a bunch of those meetups. I promise you're gonna meet private money lenders there.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
Some persons ask like, how are you finding your lenders? Like Chamber of Commerce. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I'll go to all the different meetings because they
Mhm.
have events, like big events and all that stuff, partnership with like the military, the base and everything.
Yep.
You'd be surprised. Most times I'm the only person as a real estate investor in those meetings.
Yep. That's crazy.
Everyone else, it's something else, tech, it's just completely different. But when
Exactly.
you're able to be like that only person when you do your intro, it kind of helps because then they remember you like, okay, you're
Mhm.
the only person. But persons sleep on the Chamber of Commerce. And as you
Yep.
said, meetup.com, that show you a ton of stuff that's
Tech
happening.
stuff, tech meetups is a good one. Like you said, that's a really good one. And that's on meetup.com. Sporting events like and also don't be scared to ask people, right? So I don't know what city you guys are in, but we're in Charlotte, right? So Charlotte FC is the professional soccer team here. And I we just had an event and we had the goalie, professional athlete from he lives near me, but I just happened to message him on Instagram. I'm like, hey, dude, like, do you mind signing a few jerseys? Blah blah. We're gonna give them away at the event. And yeah, he showed up and signed jerseys and took pictures with everybody.
And
And is this a professional athlete? And everybody's like, how much did you pay him? I was like, I didn't pay him anything, dude.
send
He's
them a
just
DM.
yeah, he's like just super cool that way. And he's like, well, how did you do it? I was like, I just messaged him on Instagram. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Like,
We get too in our heads about things, I feel like.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
man,
no matter how big they are, no matter who they are, like message them. You have nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose, but a couple seconds, whatever it's going to take you to write that message,
You
and you'll be
lose not
surprised.
trying.
Yeah, what?
so,
You lose by not trying, not putting
Exactly,
yourself out
exactly.
no, but I even like the messaging on Instagram right now, it's so easy.
Yeah,
Like it's so easy. And a lot of these persons have like VAs who are actually responding and qualifying you. So at some point you still get to have a conversation with them. And I
yeah,
just literally just take a couple, like maybe 1 minute just to say, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll read it. Like it's insane. And I find like, because I went to Bigger Pockets conference last week.
yep,
Um, I think just as how persons will plan and put or have this birthday party, have this big event happening, I think search for those big conferences and just
exactly,
attend those conferences and just network as much as you can. Like, yeah, you can go there to learn as well, but just go there and just network with a bunch of people because you never know who's there that you can become your private money lender.
exactly, exactly. Medical
Because
field, you got a lot of great private money in the medical field. So if you guys got medical meetups for whatever, nurses, doctors, um, you guys can also go there and take your business card.
that's
Um, if you want to get a little bit more fancy with it, you can also do like an investor package, right? A folder with your past projects,
ooh,
investment, what they got paid out, stuff like that.
That's a good
We
idea.
have one, but I've never had to use it. So it was the craziest thing, right? And so, like I said, don't overcomplicate it. If you want to get fancy with it, you can. I think it's a great, especially if you're newer to the business.
mhm.
But I think part of the things that and why I heavily recommend everybody to post everything they're doing on Facebook is that proof of concept, right? That
Yeah.
branding would that people are going to get to know you, what you do, for what we're posting, right? So we're investing heavily into our social media branding side, and it's it's hard because, and I'm sure you guys know, everything we invest into, like this set, the mics, cameras, there's no return on investment there because we're not making money off YouTube or Facebook or anything like that yet, but we're making money indirectly, right? So we sell deals to people investors that come buy properties from us from social media, stuff like that. So from Atlanta, from California, we just had a big event. We had almost 170 people there, from all over the US, right? 30 something people from California, Florida, Texas, Atlanta. It was
Yeah,
great. So
man.
those are going to be, they all become potential investors, buyers, sellers, partners. So yeah, I think definitely real estate's a unique business, right? Because typically in a business or a career, you want to be the top dog, right? You want to be the top one. You'll kick anybody down to get to where we got to be, but in real estate it's like we can all be on the top, right? There's no way that you guys are going to buy every single house, and there's no way that I'm going to buy every single house, so we can all be on the top, and
Mhm.
there's enough room for everybody to be up here. So there's no point, like the greedy people are the people that I'm just passing by, right? They didn't want to help me, and at some point we're just outgrowing these people, right? Because they're thinking so small. Like they just want to get every single dollar they can right now, and they're missing the bigger picture, right?
Man. And the thing is, what you mentioned too, like posting everything on social media, like social media, it becomes your resume.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because you
Exactly.
want, with especially so much scamming and all that stuff that's happening, like you want, when someone puts your name in Google, like something about real estate pops up, and it's not like, oh, this person wants my money and they're planning parties. Not saying planning parties wrong, but something real estate related needs to be attached to your name as well. Hulit, could you tell us, like, we want to go a little bit more into the numbers part of it, like if you have a specific, like any deal, I just want to hear what the breakdown was, how you structured that deal, if you use straight private money, if yes, what were the terms, how long did you borrow the funds for, and all that stuff.
So yeah, so each one of our deals are a little bit different depending on the lender, the
Yeah.
property itself, what the plan exit strategy is, right?
Mhm.
So it's just difficult to answer that question, but I can tell you what we traditionally do, right? So
Yeah.
let's say we have let me think of a deal that we
Yeah.
just did.
It could be a most recent deal. Just share the
Okay,
basic
so
numbers.
we just bought a hair salon, believe it or not, in Salisbury, North Carolina. Um, I think the purchase price on that was 130. We borrowed 135 because it's a newer building, beautiful building. I think we need to replace a couple bulbs and the phone system or something like that.
Yeah.
But it has four salon units in it, right? So we can have four stylists in there. Um, the guy that was in there, he did not raise the rent since he got the building, right? And I think they're still paying $75 a week there, and right now there's only three of the four units are full. And I don't know for the whoever does their hair out there, but like right now, a good price for a hair stylist for their units are like between 250 to 300
Ooh.
per stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, per unit. So we bought this at one. So we borrowed one. The purchase price was 130. We borrowed 135 for closing costs and all that. I think we paid her 1.5 points up front. And then we're paying 11.5%. So our monthly payments on that's roughly $1,300. Right now it's making $75 a week. So for easy numbers, let's say I think that's $900 a month. It's a little bit more than that, but let's say $900 a month.
Mhm.
So right, as you guys can see, it's not covering our our
Rent.
income, right?
Yeah.
But our I mean our mortgage on that, because our monthly payments on that's 1,300. But we're getting ready to raise each share to $200 a month. I mean a week.
That
So
makes
now each one of those chairs are going to be making $800 a month. So if we get all four full, that means we're going to be making $3,200. So it's going to be
sense.
amazing.
Or
Yes, it's gonna be making amazing cash flow at that point. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, but we're gonna raise the rent this coming month. And we'll give them this month at the same price, but we're gonna give them a heads up. December 1st, the rent will be up to $200 a month.
and then was this private money or was this hard money?
Private money. We've never used hard money. I mean, yeah. So the cool thing about that is like they didn't care what the income was. They didn't care what the property was worth, even though the property is worth like 220,000 as is. So, but they didn't do numbers. They were like, yeah, just let me know where to send it to, where you're gonna send the promissory note to, blah blah blah. And they're like, I think we took us like 3-4 days to get that money.
And that was that loan like 12 months, 24 months? Like how long was that?
We typically guarantee them like 3 to 6 months of payments, but they don't care if we run it out 5 years, right? Because obviously they're getting paid on their money. So it's up to me when I want to refinance it. But if I do it before the 6 months, they still got to get paid 6 months worth of payments. Right, which obviously our payment on that is great. It's $1,300, and if I can make, $3,200, that's a home run. So
That's
So,
definitely a home run.
so you guys bought the building and the business.
yep. Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Well, so the business we didn't really buy because we're just leasing out those units to each individual stylist.
You guys are still a landlord.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's 4 shares in there. I think we're gonna get to a point where we can fit 6 of them in there, and we'll have pictures on our social media if anybody wants to go and follow. Keep track of that one. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, really creative. I love it.
So now I'm like, okay, so you have this, and if you go beyond 6 months, it is okay with the lender for you to go beyond 6 months.
Yep.
But do you still put something in writing to be like the loan term can go up to X time, or how do you do that?
Depending on the lender, we put a year to 2 years also. So
Got it.
also the interest rate, depending on the lender, we're at 8%, 10%, 11.5%, or 12%.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then I'm assuming that when you get into these deals, are you planning to just do a straight out refinance?
I don't think that far ahead. So I just want to get the properties, we get them cash flowing, and then like I really need to start thinking about refinance. I have great credit, and I was like, do I want to mess that up, right? Applying to places.
The thing is too, like you don't
Yeah.
have to do a refinance. I know sometimes like lenders ask like, so how do you plan to pay my money back? So maybe it's something else. I don't know if you've ever like, there's another strategy. Like how do you plan to repay these lenders back their capital apart from the cash flow?
No, we'll probably end up doing refinance long term because we do want to hold these properties long term. And we just need to get to that point to where we're actually doing it. So
What have you been doing so far? Have you been just using another private money lender
to cash them out?
no, they don't want to get cashed out. Nobody wants to get cashed out. They want us to keep their money.
Can we just get all your lenders and
You gotta think about it. So think about this. They're getting paid 10 of anywhere between 8 to 12%. Most of them are at between 10 to 12. Nowhere else are they making that much money. Guaranteed safety, right? At the end of the day, like I said, this property's worth $200,000, $220 as is. Like I can. So and for those people that are like, well, you're getting deals that are like that we can't get or that are hard to find or blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? This property was on the MLS, so it's not like it was we put it from our lease team. This was on the MLS, right? And it was one day on the market, so it's not like it was on the market for a long time. The realtor really screwed that person over, the seller, because obviously they just wanted a quick buck, so they priced it really cheap. She even told us like, hey, our like, I know it's worth more than that, but I don't like, we just want to sell it. But the seller just wants to sell it.
So they didn't get it out.
So you always got to be careful, but at the end of the day, that's not our fault. So we had to capitalize on where we could buy this.
Oh, like you and the car lot.
Yeah. So exactly.
Man, that is insane though, guys. Like now I'm like, guys, if you want Julio like private money lenders, just drop a fire in the chat. Give us all your private money lenders, guys. Come on,
Right.
we all need that capital. Everyone needs money, so drop those in the chat. But
Ooh,
you're good.
give me a second.
You're good. So, guys, like, drop it in the chat if you.
I have a story. Now
Yes.
that Julio's camera is dying. You guys, this weekend I was watching a movie with my husband, and it was like a criminal movie, and the guy was just like 15%. Like they were talking about this guy who wasn't paying their lenders, and he was like, yeah, he was telling them 15%, and the detective was like 15%. Like I, of course, who's gonna fall for that? And I was like, dude, we get 50%. I was like, how can we like reach in there and be like, no, we do that with real estate, you guys. You guys
And
don't listen to them.
the crazy thing is, it's always like, it's always gonna depend on like how quickly do you need the money, how long you need the money for, and then who's the person with the capital. Because I think a lot of us get lost in like, oh my God, I can only offer 10, 12%. I can't do 15. There is a lender out there. It's just going to take more work to really find that lender who we can. But if you want quick money for a short time, consider paying that 15% as long as your numbers work.
Makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Always
If it doesn't, yeah, if it doesn't, like, don't take money just because you're desperate. Just, or some person are like, I don't want to lose my EMD. Yeah, might as well you lose $1,500 than lose
wholesale it.
a lot of money.
That's what I've seen a lot of people do. If they can't find the money, they just wholesale it. They just
Yeah,
find a buyer.
get creative with it. That's all you have to do. Like,
There's always a solution, like Julio was saying.
Yeah, always. Right?
just ask questions. There's someone else who was in your shoe. Just ask them question how they handle it. But Julio, like, before we wrap up as well, like, what advice would you give to any person who is new to raising capital, any book recommendations, anything like that?
Profit First is always one of my favorite books. I also think Sold or Be Sold. I mean, just anything money related, right? I think they're all good. I definitely think people overcomplicated it, the whole lending money, borrowing money. But I promise you that it's not that difficult, right? People want to make money on their money, right? People understand that money doesn't get tired. Money will go out if you invest it right, and always come back with more money. And also, like, you got to start thinking like people want their money to work for them. People get tired, money don't. So definitely don't overcomplicate it, but also educate yourself on what you're asking for, right? So if I'm asking for $300,000, I better be able to tell these people how their money's safe, right? So if I say I don't know, I mean, what would you say, right? So, but definitely tell them, like, learn the laws in your state. As far when I say that, I mean, like, as far as how your money's protected, right? You don't need to know every single thing. You don't need to be suits, or you don't need to learn how to be an attorney, but just learn how their money's protected, and your attorney or your paralegal can tell you that really quick, right? Whether it's a mortgage, whether it's a deed, whether it's a promissory note, whether you're signing a whatever that is, right? Just learn those rules, and then go out and ask, talk to people, talk to your family, talk to your friends. I promise you, somebody wants to lend you money.
Yeah, that is like so true. That is like,
I love
hit
it.
the nail on the head. Like, hit the nail. I had my old landlord as a lender
That's awesome.
just because I was telling them what I was doing, and they're just so excited now, lending from their whole life insurance policy.
Exactly. That's awesome. That's a whole nother book, right? Right
Whole
there. Yeah.
No,
And
but go ahead.
no, and I think that's a really good point, right? Once you learn the basics, I would also recommend learning how to explain people or tell people, hey, why don't you take your money out of your 401k, and how to do that the right way compared to the wrong way, or how to use your insurance policies, ask to borrow money from itself, or a bunch of other ways that people find to be able to lend money, or do a refinance or HELOCs. Right now, you don't necessarily want to take a HELOC and buy a property with it, but you can definitely take a HELOC and lend on with that money, right? So definitely educate yourself. there's so much knowledge out here that's completely free. And yeah, so take action, guys. Take action.
So what's next? What's next for the Legacy Group? Tell us.
Oh, what's not next, right? We got some big plans, big goals. I definitely think a lot of people are going to start hearing about us, and yeah, I mean, it's all about working with everybody, right? We're not greedy people. We want to work with everybody. We want to see everybody grow. I definitely think there's enough opportunities for everybody here. So if you want to work with us or work together, anything we can do for you, anything we can work on together, let's knock it out of the park.
Love it.
But yeah.
Guys, and his handle is on the screen. If you guys are listening to this way after, it's at IAMLEGAC_IG. So that's at IAMLegacy_IG. So follow Julio and the team. If you guys need anything, you want to work with Julio, send a DM. He said it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think his other IG is also on the description. So if you miss it, you can get that one there too.
Yeah.
They're always posting cool content, walkthroughs through their properties. You guys can see projects that they're working on. If you speak Spanish, they have a bunch of content for you guys to share with your Spanish speaking family members that only want to hear stuff in Spanish. So definitely go out there, follow him, and go to his events. He hosts some really awesome events in Charlotte.
So if you're in North Carolina, this next week on Monday, we're going to have a Halloween meetup. So if anybody wants to stop by, it's completely free, guys. So come out, say what's up, meet amazing people, realtors, lenders, everything. Hopefully we can get her out here. I know she's very busy, but yeah, I would love to meet as many of you guys as I can, and whatever we can do to work together, I say we do it, right?
No, let's do it. No, man. But guys, this has been phenomenal, Julio. Like the fact that you dive deep and you touch on how we're using private capital to buy businesses as well.
Yep.
And I love that you show how simple it is, because people just hear real estate business. Ooh, I don't get it with the business side. It's the same math. Does it make money? How much money do you need? How long do you need it for? It's the same thing. But like, it was so good having you here, like sharing your knowledge, your experience, everything that you've done, what you're doing. And who knows, a couple months from now, we invite you back on the podcast, and because you blew up and you're telling us how you're operating millions of dollars in private money.
Right.
Like,
that's the plan. That's the plan. No, I'm excited. Anytime you guys need us to be on here, we'll be happy to hop on and see how we can work together and what we can do to help you grow, you guys grow, and us grow, and everybody grow, right? But yeah, the plan is to lend money as well. So once we get to that point, you guys will be the first ones in line. And make sure you guys subscribe to this lady's channels as well too, right? Because they give out a ton of free knowledge out here too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Julio. Thank you for being here with us, sharing some time and knowledge. I know you dropped some really cool bombs on this. Golden nuggets. I know our viewers love hearing this kind of stuff. And I don't know if you can see the comments, because some people give us say yes and some people say no, but they really, really love what you're saying today. You got a lot of love on the comments. So I just wanted to know.
I can't see it, but I'll definitely go back on there and check them out while you guys because it's on your Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go on there and reply as well. Say what's up to everybody.
All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, our viewers, for being here. You guys are awesome. We love seeing you. And you guys just keep commenting. Remember that we are picking one of you guys to be on our podcast once a month. So if we see you guys,
that's awesome.
Commenting, we'll pick you.
Yeah,
we had our first last week, and we're excited to bring someone on in 2 weeks, I believe, either next week or in 2 weeks. So that's going to be really cool. So whether you're looking to finance your next project, launch, or expand a new business, we hope that this episode gave you insights, strategies, and tips so you guys can raise capital and invest with purpose. See you guys.
Bye, guys.